of, because it makes a huge difference. I mean, my answer is really about finding your tribe, Andy, and being able to find the people that fill your cup and that you share similar values and mindsets and goals and beliefs with. But it's really hard to find your tribe until you know how you position yourself. And so you had asked earlier, like, how do you make the most of conversations, and how do you get in touch with people, and how do you make the most of networking, and know what things to go to? I've seen a lot of really smart, really talented people struggle there because they don't know how to position themselves. And as a designer, you understand what brand is and you understand what positioning is, but most people don't think about it, right? And so positioning is not just for brands and products, it's for people too, right? And so if I think about, who am I as a person? Where do I want to go and grow? And who are the sorts of people that I want to be like, that I want to be with? Like, you have to think about yourself in a tight positioning, which really just means, what bucket would you put me in? How would you describe me? And how do you keep that tight and narrow? Because we're in 2024 now, I guess. I've talked to lots of folks over the last couple of years who are senior executives, who are C-suite, who are really talented, have this amazing career. And when I'm having coffee with them, I say, like, what's next? What sort of job are you looking for? And they say, well, I don't know, because I could do anything. My career has been this broad, and I could do some finance, I could do some operations, I could do some merchandising, I can do some creative direction, I could do, like all of these different things. It's like, oh gosh, you're going to really struggle in a job interview. Like, I have to tell you, like, I don't know who to connect you with. And I say, well, what type of company are you looking for? Tell me more about the specifics. Well, it could be big, it could be small, it could be anything. I just want a great team. Well, that's so ambiguous. And we as humans, whether we like it or not, because it also creates a lot of problems in the world, we want to bucket people in groups and categories, right? And that's what positioning is thinking through, like, okay, when I say McDonald's, like, I have a certain positioning in my head that I think of McDonald's for, and things I attribute with McDonald's that I may not a steakhouse brand or something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to think about how you position yourself to be able to find your tribe. Like, how would you describe yourself? How do you want others to see you? And then where do you want to continue to be in the future? And I think you need to have a lot of self-reflection to be able to identify who is your tribe, right? And to be willing to do some experimenting with who your tribe is, because it's also going to change over time. But one thing that I've done there, Andy, is to surround myself with lots of other ambitious people who have high aspirations for themselves and for the impact they'll make in the world, but also really give a damn about their family and community. And so both of those things are very important to me. And it's easy, if you over-index on one side or the other, to like almost create your own guilt track, like your own negative head trash. Like, if I spend time with people who are 100% all in, only focused on family, and that is great for them, and that is wonderful, they're not doing anything wrong. But by spending a lot of time with them, when they start talking through, like, oh my gosh, I'm involved with XYZ in my kid's school, and I don't know how you have time for all this stuff. How do you spend time with your kids on homework, and how do you XYZ, and here's what I'm doing. I start to like really beat myself up internally, like, oh gosh, should I be doing that? Should I be going to all of my kids, like volunteering for all of their field trips and all of their school holiday parties? And gosh, maybe I should be doing that. I'm a terrible mom. And I'm not, by the way, but like, it's just really easy when you compare yourself, because that is what that person is all in on, and good for them. That is amazing. And I want to be all in for my kids too, but in a different way. The same thing goes if I spend time with people who don't have any focus on their family, don't have any focus on community, and don't have any focus on their health or their personal well-being. And they're just grinding nonstop to meet a vision, to meet a career goal. Listen, I can learn a lot from those people, and I have a lot of those people in my circle, but they're not the people I spend the most time with. They're not the people that I seek out for the biggest challenges that I'm facing, because I think their values and where they focus might be a little different than mine. So I've spent a lot of time curating my closest group of friends and mentors and peers, the people that I, will shut down a restaurant with on a Tuesday night after our kids go to bed, right? Because it's the best time for us to meet. Spending time with those people fills my cup, aligned to my values, challenge me in the things that I want to do and where I'm going. But you have to do a lot of introspection first to be able to identify who are those people, And by the way, if they share your values, they're going to be super jazzed and energized to spend time with you too, right? And so it becomes very symbiotic, where you grow together, you have each other's back, just by being super aligned on values and positioning and the things that are important to you.
Yeah, I love that. So, kind of a quick one-off. What is your process of um, self introspection look like? Is that journaling or is it
Mm.
some kind of a meditation or anything? I know that's kind of a specific
Yeah.
question, but
No,
yeah.
it's good. I am a bit of an experimenter and a dabbler, Andy. So I will say I don't stick with a lot of practices long term. I do
Mhm.
lots of different things over time, and not for like a week or two. Like I'll go all in on something, but it'll be a while. So I've had a meditation practice. I actually worked with a meditation coach for more than a year,
Nice.
who was amazing, by the way. And it's made me much more self-aware of my negative self-talk, of when that tiny voice creeps in pretty loudly to say, hey, you're not doing this well. You could be doing this better. How dare you? You know, like all the negative thoughts you could have, to be aware of that so I could shut it down and say, you know what? I think I'm doing a good job.
Mhm.
You can go quiet yourself. Um, so meditation has helped. I
Mhm.
have pretty tight diet and sleep regimens. I found those two things are really important to me and to some of my personal conditions. And so I'm very thoughtful about how I fuel my body and how I rest my body. Um, I have episodes and periods of doing certain types of workouts to keep my body active and healthy. But I would not say that I have been consistent throughout my whole life and what those looked like or what seasons they take on. Um, but I think it's who you surround yourself by, right? Like if you surround yourself by people who are always woe is me, who are always really negative, um, like it's really hard to, especially if you're prone to negative self-talk, to not let some of that creep in. And so I
Mhm.
try and spend a lot of time with optimistic, grounded people, or people who, maybe they're not, everything's always sunny, but they're not as rattled by things, right? Like they can share my perspective of, yeah, that happened and that's really hard. But is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? We don't know yet. Like let's just see.
Mhm.
And I think spending more time with people that aren't as easily rattled has made me less flappable as a leader, which is something that I worked on a lot the first 5, 7 years of Zoco.